At Wembley today, it's the FA Cup winners of the last 2 years head-to-head for a place in this season's final. Chelsea and Manchester City have both enjoyed and endured roller coaster campaigns, and now at the business end, so much on the line in the world's most iconic cup competition. Des Kern joined by three-time FA Cup winner Steve Nicol here on ESPN. Great to have you with us. Wigan Athletic awaiting the winners following their win here against Millwall yesterday. But with respect to Wigan Athletic, Steve, I think most believe that the winners will come from this pairing. And this has been a competition dominated by Chelsea in recent times. They've won it in 4 of the last 6 seasons.
Well, I'd have to agree that we all think that the winner's going to come from this semi-final, but having been on the end of an upset in a Wembley final, I know that you can't take anything for granted.
Well, the FA Cup provider Roberto Mancini with his first big success as City boss when 2 seasons ago Yaya Toure was the hero in the semi-final and then the final against Stoke City. That success brought the club a first piece of silverware in 35 years, and what is today a 4th meeting of these clubs this season. And as you can see, Chelsea yet to record a victory. It all began at Villa Park with an incident-packed and goal-laden Community Shield, won 3-2. Lots of incident in that one, including a red card for Branislav Ivanovic, which seemed to change the game. Chris Foy, our match referee, the team's in the tunnel. A real air of expectation surrounding this fixture. A packed Wembley. And it is North against South, which brings its own edge. That was the case yesterday. Wigan proved far too good for Millwall. Will it be the men from the North or the men from the South to join them in the final?
Yes, punters, welcome to the world of Sporting Bet.
At Sporting Bet, we live and breathe sports and racing. It's what we do, day in, day out. We put the punter first, providing top odds and unique promotions on a huge range of markets. And our cutting-edge technology means you can bet anywhere, anytime. So if you're into sports and racing as much as we are, go to sportingbet.com.au today, because there's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
What if you could drive the future today and switch on the air conditioning remotely? What if you could drive with 0 emissions and you never had to stop for petrol again, ever? What if your everyday car was an electric car? And what if one day it could power your house? The Nissan Leaf.
ESPN would like to thank our exclusive wagering partner, Sporting Bet. There's no better bet than a Sporting Bet.
Welcome back to ESPN. Let's check on the lineups. We start with Chelsea. Terry and Lampard key figures. Neither starts today, though. It's a long expected lines for Rafa Benitez. Ryan Bertrand's in at left back. He has recovered from illness to take his place in a back 4 that also includes Luis, Ivanovic and Azpilicueta. Into midfield, Oscar lost an Olympic final here 8 months ago. Mikel and Ramirez, Mata and Hazard, and Steve up top, it's going to be Demba Ba.
Yeah, I'm not really surprised at that. Listen, let's remember that superb goal that Demba Ba scored is the reason they're in the semi-final. Kind of a little off-putting. I think Chelsea, no question, will go 4-2-3-1. I certainly don't think there's going to be 5 in the middle.
2 changes for Manchester City from the derby win on Monday night, and Roberto Mancini sticks with his cup keeper, Kostel Pantilimon, who has played in all 4 rounds to this point, 4 clean sheets to boot as well. And he will be behind a backline of Zabaleta, Nastasic, Kompany and Clichy.
I'm not quite convinced about Pantilimon yet. I've seen him a couple of times and he's made mistakes both times I've seen him.
Samir Nasri also starting today. Yaya Toure alongside Gareth Barry, James Milner. Plenty of energy, and it might be needed today. And Carlos Tevez, what a good season he's had. He will be operating just behind Sergio Aguero, who has come back from injury. The man who came up with a big goal at Old Trafford on Monday. And a very exciting front 2, Tevez and Aguero.
Well, I think the City lineups, certainly how they'll start is the harder one to pick. For me, it's probably going to be a 4-3-3. I would like to see it a 4-3-3. I'd love to see Barry, Touré and Milner as a 3, as they did in the derby last Monday night against Manchester United. It could be a 4-4-2. I guess time will tell.
Well, mixed views on holding semi-finals at Wembley, though last season 2 cracking games. Liverpool edging Everton in the Merseyside derby, and then Chelsea. An outstanding display as they smashed 5 past Tottenham in an all-London get-together today, as was the case yesterday, North versus South. And incredibly, a first FA Cup meeting of these clubs since 1971. But as we said, a 4th meeting of these two this season. The Community Shield 3-2 to Roberto Mancini's side. Game that changed on that debatable red card for Branislav Ivanovic just before half-time, with Chelsea leading by a goal to 0. 2 league meetings in November 0-0 at Stamford Bridge in what was Rafa Benitez's first game in charge, and then at the end of February, 2-0 City win at Eastlands that included Joe Hart saving Frank Lampard's penalty. A game that could have gone either way. So just about set to go. It'll be Manchester City to get us underway in their sky blue kit, left to right in this first half. Wigan Athletic, Roberto Martinez's side, awaiting the winners in a month's time back here at Wembley. But who will it be to join them? Away we go. Early touch for Yaya Toure, back to the skipper company. And now the young Serb Nastasic. Goes without saying, Steve, the first 5-10 minutes could be key. Which side will settle quicker? Or will it be a feeling out period between these two?
Well, I think definitely there'll be a little feeling out period. You know, Chelsea having that tough game, that tough bit of travel, didn't get back until what, 2 a.m. Thursday, late Thursday, Friday morning. I think they're the team that'll need 5 minutes just to get their legs back under them again and get loosened up.
Foul by John Obi Mikel. Chelsea began the season chasing 7 trophies. Now on the hunt for just 2. This is the FA Cup, a trophy they've lifted 4 times in the last 6 seasons. They've lost just once in their last 39 FA Cup ties over 90 minutes. Also into the final 4 of the Europa League, and 2 legs to come against the Swiss champions Basel, who knocked out Tottenham on penalty kicks. Of course, there is the prospect of penalties today, should it go all the way. And I don't think it would surprise too many. Not much to pick between these two. Launched forward by Ryan Bertrand. We mentioned no Terry, no Lampard in the starting 11, no Torres either, and no Ashley Cole out through injury. A man with an incredible cup history, Ashley Cole. But it's to Ryan Bertrand they look today. Wembley experience for him, of course, as well. Having played for Team GB in the Olympics, lifted forward by Barry. Looking for the run of Tevez. Ivanovic decides to take control of that ahead of Cech.
Well, he's a little fortunate there, Ivanovic. I'm sure the atmosphere was part of the reason that Ivanovic probably didn't hear Cech, because there's no question Cech would be calling. Just tells you how loud it must be there.
A 12th game at the new Wembley for Chelsea. They're well used to these surroundings. For Manchester City, they got the win here against Stoke 2 seasons ago. The goal from Yaya Toure, after he had come up with a big one in the semi-final against Manchester United as well. Here's Nasri, works it inside to Barry. Looking for options, lots of dark shirts ahead of him. Chelsea plugging the gaps, Tevez deep, and deeper still Company.
Semi-finals typically for me are about getting ahead, getting that lead. Because I don't care how experienced you are, it's always a nervy situation. You know you're only one mistake or one piece of brilliance away from the final, and that's why getting ahead makes it tough on your opponents.
Demba Ba stretching his legs here against Company. Chelsea striker, 5 goals, 3 of those coming in the FA Cup. A brace on his debut at Southampton, and that stunning winning goal in the replay against Manchester United in the last round.
That's going to be a huge battle today, Ba and Company. I guess you could put that down as 1-0 to Company so far. Held Ba off nice and strong. Good little bit of football. Gets the ball back to his keeper.
Rafa Benitez, FA Cup winner with Liverpool, 2006 against West Ham. What a thrilling affair that was. He was in Cardiff though, not at Wembley. Here's Aguero. Tevez looking for that link up. Mata to play it away. Ramirez.
That has to be better from Tevez in and around there. That's where, when they're on their game, they're so good and so lethal, especially as a pairing.
Hazard losing out. First chance for Yaya Toure to stretch his legs. Here's Aguero. Angle was acute and found the side netting only, but Yaya Toure looking to finish this season strongly. He started it strongly, but this typical surge we've seen from him time and again.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a mismatch in the middle. Just a little bit too much on the pass from Toure. Hazard's never going to be able to go with Toure physically. And for me, Aguero just makes a bad decision here. Keep the ball, keep the pressure on. It's too tight, and Czech would always have that covered, even if it had been on target.
Bar climbing and winning. Nastasic asking Company to take control of that, and it's back to Pantilimon.
I guess so. When you look at that goal Aguero scored against Man United during the week, who am I to tell him not to have a striking goal?
Petr Cech, who's come up with some massive FA Cup moments in his career. You remember the penalty save from Kevin Prince-Boateng back in 2010, that wonder save from Andy Carroll in the final last season, and of course Javier Hernandez this season. A save of the highest caliber in the quarter-final replay.
That's true. I certainly give Bar credit for getting Chelsea through, but without that save they might not be through either.
Here's the impressive Mata. Looks like Gareth Barry has been detailed, at least for now, to keep tabs on Mata. Oscar, lovely turn. He runs into the considerable frame of Yaya Toure. Now Clichy to bring it away. And to push on here, leaving Mikel behind him as well. Great run from Gal Clichy, and bundled over.
Got to be a yellow card as well. That was always on the cards. Can't believe he's not giving him a yellow.
Nasri, this way and that, taking on Azpilicueta, and Ivanovic gets there. Bright start to the game.
Well, for me, City have done Mikel a favour there. There's no question. Again, another mismatch. Clichy running through past Mikel. He was always going to bring him down. And the referee, he's really letting him off with one there.
Company to the near post, shadowed by David Luiz, over his head, away by Ivanovic again. Here's Gareth Barry, didn't quite catch it. Oh, turned in almost. What a save from Cech. He's done it again. Point blank range, this time to deny Aguero.
Wow. Well, Gareth Barry, he's just hitting it hard into the danger zone. Toure gets a touch, Aguero gets a touch. But the coolest man on the field, Cech, watches it all the way and puts a nice little touch on it.
Swung in by Nasri, this time it's Mikel to head away. Back into the mix by Barry, Mikel again. David Luiz looking to put some distance on it. Strong start from Manchester City. Here's Mata. Space on the left-hand side for Oscar. Bertrand galloping forward in support. Zabaleta pushes Milner back. Here's Oscar again. Looking for that early ball out to Hazard, far side, picked up by Clichy, and here he goes again, Tevez.
Well, not only is that a long buster for Bertrand, but he's now out of position.
Clichy stayed forward, Tevez again. Aguero on the run around at pace as well, taking on Luiz. All hands to the pump for the moment for Chelsea.
It's unfortunate there. Lovely little understanding between the two of them. Aguero, another little meg, just couldn't get on the end of it.
A game that has started at a breakneck pace here. And that might be certainly in the game plan for Manchester City when you consider it's a 6th game in 16 days for Chelsea this. As you said, Steve, only back from Moscow at the early hours of Friday morning. Well, Rafa Benitez says he's got a squad and he uses it, and he's got fresh players to come in.
Well, I think if you're City, A, you want to get after this game anyway, and you want to go and win it. And 2, you must take advantage of that extra little bit of rest that you've had.
Swung in by Mata, too close to Pantilimon.
I think the Bertrand example that I pulled up there is a real good one. When you've had the rest that Manchester City have, then people like Zabaleta can run up and down that line all day and still have the lungs to do what's needed to be done. Bertrand, on the other hand, a lot of travelling, a lot of time spent twiddling his thumbs, and it kind of dulls the brain as much as the legs.
And Bertrand's been suffering with an illness as well of late, so we wonder exactly how fit he is. Nasri looking for Aguero, not finding him. Oscar to Mata.
Not good enough for Nasri, is it? It's a simple pass. And all of a sudden you're putting Chelsea on the attack.
It's not quite happened for Samir Nasri in a Manchester City shirt. disappointing debut campaign. He's been in and out this season. After 10-11 was a stunning season for him with Arsenal, including 15 goals, which more than doubled his tally, or exceeded his tally of the previous 2 seasons. Rafa's been active in the first 9 minutes. There's a glimpse of his bench today, and one that of course includes Lampard, Torres and Terry amongst others.
I think it's interesting as well. You look at Torres, you look at Terry, you look at Lampard. They really have become just exactly what they are today, squad members.
Nasri works it inside. Chris Foy not doing James Milner any favours there. It's Ivanovic, prominent in the early stages to restore some order for Chelsea. Bertrand. It's a very energetic right-hand side, as you said. Zabaleta plus Milner for Manchester City. And with Milner there, he can offer that little bit defensively as well. Here's Tevez. Looking to flash one across goal. Well, was he trying to squeeze it inside that near post? Czech was alive and alert to the danger.
What a beautiful little piece of play. Everybody in vain. Lovely little ball round the corner from Tevez. Keeps his run going, gets it back from Barry. And I don't think that's a shot. I think he's trying to put that back across the front of Czech. Gets it a little bit wrong, and in the end, Czech has to make a save.
Milner's corner. Outswinger, crisply delivered, headed away by Ba. Taken in by Oscar. Ba still back in that defensive position. Here's Bertrand. Finds space on the far side. Azpilicueta. Mata, you'd imagine, will have a massive role to play for Chelsea today as he tries to knit the side together. Won a Copa del Rey with David Silva, who hasn't made it today, back in their Valencia days. Good challenge by Barry. And Clichy, who does have an FA Cup winners medal from 05 with Arsenal, didn't play in the final against Manchester United. Aguero looking to trouble that Chelsea defence again. Tevez. Held up by Luiz. Yaya Toure. Tevez again. Here's Nasri. Tevez, as he loves to do, just drops out into that little pocket. Back on halfway with Barry.
Well, if this carries on the way it is, it's going to be a long afternoon for Ramirez and Mikel. Trying to get a hold of the ball, and then when they do get a hold of it, get it away quickly before they close down, because City are swarming all over everything when they don't have it, and of course when they have it, they're just playing passes, moving it around and moving Chelsea around.
Zabaleta spots a chance to push on here. Aguero out to Milner. Zabaleta furthest forward here. Yaya Toure hunted down by Ramirez. Toure, Aguero, a chance to get turned here. Muscled off it by David Luiz, and here's Mikel.
That's good play from Luiz. He reads exactly what Aguero's going to do and gets there early. Uses his strength and holds him off.
Far too much on that from Mikel, and with Rafa Benitez opting for Mikel and Ramirez and no Lampard in there, they do, well, lack that passing ability in the centre of the pitch. That's why they look to Mata.
Well, it's pretty clear that they're looking for Ramirez and Mikel to do all the dirty work and try and get the ball for the three amigos, basically, Mata, Oscar and Hazard. But at the moment, they're finding it extremely tough to even get on the ball, never mind make some passes.
Barry out to Zabaleta, well advanced again. Nasri looking to find that little moment in and around the edge of the Chelsea area. It's done well, Nasri. Milner looking to fizz it in at pace, just got underneath it.
Yeah, it's a tough ball. It's one we expect Milner to make, though. Trying to flash it across the 6-yard area. Here's that chance from Tevez. He's looking to cut it back for his mate. Just blast it into the penalty area, Barry. Touch from Toure. Sharp as attack, Aguero, but not just sharp enough to beat this guy, Cech, who really comes alive in the FA Cup.
A really good save from Cech when you consider he'd have been bracing himself for the first effort from Barry, then for the deflected effort from Toure, and then in third, well, for the touch from Aguero.
Well, the problem is you have to be, because with Barry, it could be in the top corner, but it could also be way over the crossbar, and you're just never quite sure where it's going to go with him.
Here's Ramirez. If they need legs in the centre of the park today, he'll certainly provide it. Scored in the final last season along with Didier Drogba. You look at how this game has gone today for Chelsea so far, Steve, and you consider Drogba in his pomp would have been perfect for this, because they haven't had the ball, but when they didn't have it in games past, there was always Drogba, and 9 goals and 9 cup finals speaks for itself.
Yeah, I think when you look at the Chelsea side of today and the Chelsea side that Drogba played in, other than Cech, you look through the pipe and the spine of the team, and it's just not what it was. Terry at his best, Lampard at his best, and Drogba at his best. I mean, that's formidable. May seem a little harsh on Luiz and people like Ramirez and Ba, but in all honesty, they're not in the same class yet as the predecessors.
Hazard, who we've hardly mentioned to this point. Ba looking for a turn ball, quickly closed down by Nastasic. What an impact the young Serb has made. Not long turned 20. Regular for the national side now. He's facing his international teammate at the other end. Here he is, Ivanovic. I think an idea of how Roberto Mancini rated Matej Nastasic was that he gave him his debut in the Champions League at the Bernabeu. And he's gone on to start another 25 games since then. Julian Lescott fallen out of favour. He's on the bench again today, as is Kolo Toure.
Well, I think it was a huge signing, Nastic. He's got youth. He actually has ability so early in years. Not only can he play now, but he's absolutely a star, big star for the future.
And as part of the deal that saw him arrive from Fiorentina, Stefan Savic went the other way. Savic played in a back three in the first half of the Community Shield, where they had all sorts of problems. Something that Mancini experimented with, certainly in pre-season and at times during the season as well, a back three, but most of the players seem quite comfortable to play with the back four.
You have to give Mancini credit. He realised he made a mistake with Savic. Unfortunately, Nastasic was around and he managed to get him. But he realised that the guy wasn't good enough and he made the change.
Great feed from Oscar, beating Zabaleta, all ends up there. If you're Zabaleta, Steve, you'll know as a right back, you've got a decision when you're playing against someone like Oscar. Do you get tight? Do you stand off?
Well, you get tight, but you don't go diving in as Zabaleta did there. Oscar, I guess, wasn't in full control of the ball, which meant Zabaleta can go at 100 miles an hour, but in the end it was the wrong decision. Stay on your feet, keep the ball in front of you.
A fantastic camera shot. And didn't get the big crowd yesterday, as it was Wigan against Millwall. Wigan didn't sell their full allocation. Still, their supporters left a real positive impression. Unfortunately, you couldn't say the same about Millwall. And today, it's jam-packed for this heavy-hitting affair. Still 0-0 Chelsea-Manchester City.
So it's amazing that the crowd clapping there, the way they played out. 2 seconds earlier, they were all panicking.
Tevez swings it far side. Nasri to Barry to Milner. Yaya Toure. I think if we were treated to a possession stat for 18 minutes of this game so far, it would be so heavily skewed in Manchester City's favour.
I always think, though, when you have so much of the ball and you're putting so much pressure on your opposition, you really have to take advantage of that and score your goals and make your chances. Because whilst it's 0-0, there's every opportunity that Chelsea can just get a quick break and all of a sudden you find yourself 1-0 down after having so much of the ball and being so much in command.
And you can see how the game has gone if you look at both sets of centre halves here. Nastasic and company have spent 18.5 minutes pretty much standing on the halfway line, if not even a fraction inside the Chelsea half, and Luiz and Ivanovic have spent most of it on their own 18-yard line.
Well, Chelsea in the middle of the park can't cope. They don't know who to pick up. They don't know which holes to fill. And consequently, with the movement, with Milner coming out wide, coming inside, Aguero dropping in, Tevez sometimes dropping in. I mean, they're really unsure who to pick up and when to pick up.
And Petr Cech with a couple of big moments already for Chelsea. Under the watchful gaze of Rafa Benitez, it's Clichy to go back to Nastasic. A little bit risky this. And Clichy now even further back, all the way to Pantilimon. Zabaleta, who came up with a winning goal at Stoke. What was an excellent performance there. 1-0 victory. The margin could have been a lot bigger. Here's a straight ball over the top. Aguero, great first touch. And what an intervention from Ivanovic. Had to be. But Manchester City mixing it up. Direct ball forward this time from company. And almost the end result they were looking for from Aguero.
Well, the first objective as a centre-back, or a pair of centre-backs, is not to let your centre-forward get in between you. It's exactly what Aguero does. Neither Luiz nor Ivanovic, even though he's there, in the end it's a fantastic block from Ivanovic. With this little guy Aguero, he just gets into little holes as if he's invisible, and he certainly was invisible to those two there.
And they'll need eyes in the back of their head today, Luiz and Ivanovic. Aguero lurking and Tevez always there or thereabouts.
Well, not only do they need eyes in the back of their head, but they need somebody around them, whether it's the full-back or the centre-back partner, to be talking. You have to talk to each other, and if you do that, then that type of situation just doesn't happen.
Groans from the Chelsea supporters as it breaks down between Azpilicueta and Ramirez. Here come Manchester City again. Barry into the channel. Aguero ahead of Ivanovic. Clichy. Now Yaya Toure. Manchester City certainly playing like a side in form. 6 wins in 7 coming here. Clichy hangs it in there with his right foot, headed away by Oscar. Look how deep he is. And now Barry out to Zabaleta. Tevez tempting Bertrand to him. Here's Zabaleta. Tevez again looking to work it off Aguero. They've managed to keep it, and still Tevez, and this time it's Bertrand with the block for Chelsea.
Well, that back four are just ahead at the moment of the City attack. They look as though they've been undone a couple of times, but somebody, on that occasion it's Bertrand, just manages to get a block.
And this understanding between Tevez and Aguero for club and country. They trust each other implicitly, even in these tight situations, happy to give the ball. Here goes Aguero again. Milner digs it out, gets one across the face of goal, no one there to take advantage. And it's Azpilicueta to clear, and finally some room for Hazard.
Well, if there is one problem with not having an out-and-out centre-forward, you just saw it. A great ball across the 6-yard area and nobody there to put it away.
Good work from Demba Ba, enticed company into the challenge. And finally, after defending for most of the game so far, a chance for Chelsea to put some men in the penalty area here.
Well, if company has one flaw, that's it. When he's taken wide, he somehow loses his composure. And I mean, here, Demba Ba is going nowhere. He's going away from goal, and company loses his discipline, sticks a leg out, and Ba just falls over it.
Well, Luiz and Ivanovic, 11 goals between them this season. Both forward for this. Needs a good delivery. Mata looking to provide it. Pantilimon comes, never got there. And off the line by company. We watch the effort of Hazard all the way.
Well, I've always felt Pantilimon has a mistake in him. And for City, they better hope that's it. Done and dusted and out the way.
And where we've seen a Czech impress at the other end already. It was decision time there for the big Romanian. All 6'6", 6'7" of him came for it. Never got there. Here's Oscar. Nice turn by Mata. Looking for an option, goes to Demba Ba. And it's Clichy to clear. Finally, the Chelsea supporters with a chance to get behind their side now.
Yeah, something to grab onto. Albeit coming from the goalkeeper of the opposition, but they'll take it.
Down the line to Hazard. Dinks it back to Azpilicueta. Now Mata. Very tight on that far touchline. They'll do it again. Hazard on the end line. Decent ball inside. Heavy touch though from Ramirez. Here's Luis. Whips it in. Away by Nastasic. Mikel. Looking out towards Oscar on this near side, finding only Zabaleta, and here come Manchester City. Aguero, Tevez sprinting through the middle, that's for him. Didn't have enough on it to find him. Dug out by Mikel, lovely turn by Ramirez, taken down. Good advantage allowed, here's Mata. Then Milner has a nibble. And if it wasn't for the first one, it is for the second one.
Well, I think he's got that wrong. For me, Milner gets the ball. The previous two are no question, the previous two are fouls. Tevez just not reading the pass from Aguero there. That's a kick out from Toure. Barry loses his footing. Referee plays on. And then the one from Milner, which we're not going to see, for me, he got the ball, but the referee gave it anyway.
Now this could be a painful one for Ramirez. It just looked like a clash of knees in the challenge with Gareth Barry. And here's the post-mortem as to what went on at the free kick.
Well, Pantilimon nowhere near it. Just in an absolute daze there. Not sure whether he's facing his own goal or the opposition goal. But fortunately the ball's cleared off the line for him. And then there's this block from Ivanovic, who initially was at fault for letting them get the shot anyway, but got a good block. And then Tevez, little 1-2 with Aguero. This time it's Bertrand's chance or opportunity to get a block. They're certainly spreading it around at the back. Defensively, Chelsea.
And Gareth Barry yellow carded.
Well, again, the referee's got that wrong. It should have been Yaya Toure. It should have been carded because Barry just loses his footing and just barreled into Ramirez.
Now Mikel standing over this. Lifts it forward, flag stays down. Demba Ba, who did it against Manchester United in quite a similar situation. Almost in again.
That was exactly what went through my mind. Nastasic doesn't make his mind up. He goes, decides to stay, it's too late. And just right there you think Demba Ba's going to do it again. Instead he tried to bring it down and just couldn't get a hold of it.
Well, that goal that he scored against Manchester United meant that Chelsea remained 10 years unbeaten in the FA Cup at Stamford Bridge. And they've come away from Stamford Bridge this season. It's not always gone so well. And 12 defeats on the road, including in the Community Shield at Villa Park against Manchester City, and in the Premier League at Manchester City as well.
He's such a physical presence, Toure. I mean, Hazard looking for a foul, going down. Good decision from the referee that time just to play on.
And Mata escapes after a rather unusually heavy first touch. Here's Hazard backing up Clichy, tried to feed it through to Oscar. And finally Chelsea starting to enjoy some possession in this game. Azpilicueta inside, Oscar pirouettes away from Barry. You could see what his intention was. One too many men to beat in the end. Clichy forced to put it out though.
Well, they did a good job defensively, City. Plenty of numbers around the ball, not giving Chelsea an inch. And particularly this guy on the ball, Hazard, in these situations. You can't give him an inch because he'll take a mile.
It's a great debut season, Eden Hazard. Azpilicueta to swing it in, away by the well-placed Nastasic. A recycle by Ramirez. Lofted forward. Good defensive header at full stretch by Vincent Kompany. Ramirez strong against Barry as those two collide again, and that is Zabaleta late on Bertrand, or so it seemed.
Yep, he was late. Should have been a free kick.
And Zabaleta, who got away with one on Oscar a little earlier in terms of a possible yellow card that wasn't given. Looks like he's gotten away with another there. Oscar. It's so tricky in these situations. Clichy looking to read his thoughts. He's just about gotten away with the Clichy. Had he not trod on the ball, Oscar?
You're not kidding. Initially I thought Clichy's done well. He's got his body in between him and the ball. And then of course he loses his footing. And Oscar just stands on it at the wrong time. I mean, that could have gone either way. That would be a claim. I would be claiming for a penalty kick if I was Oscar. No question that Clichy's put his body in the way of Oscar not going for the ball. And the last time I looked in the rule book, that constituted a penalty kick. Would have been harsh, nevertheless.
Don't see it often given in those situations, but as you said, by the letter of the law. Here's Aguero. Looking very bright in the first half hour, as is Tevez. Here's Nasri. Clichy on the overlap, looking for the early delivery. Sting taken out of it by Azpilicueta. Delicate touch from Mata. Dinks it forward, Hazard. Here's Ba. Mata again, and Mikel in the centre circle. Space on the left-hand side, Bertrand. Mikel again, Barry comes to engage here. Back to Ivanovic. Azpilicueta. Mata. And Ramirez. Wherever he's been, Barry's not been too far away, and vice versa. Hazard. And skips away from both Clichy and Toure. Ramirez. Ramirez in there again. I just think that challenge on Ramirez by Barry just appears to have really got Ramirez going. He's flying into challenges here, there and everywhere.
Well, he's certainly got him going, but I think the important thing is that the strong challenges he's putting in are smart ones. And they're not ill-disciplined. He's got them timed well. Just trying to drive his team forward. Just trying to show them the way forward.
Aggression, a great attribute if you can channel it in the right way, and Ramirez certainly beginning to put himself about in that midfield area.
I think one of the things that you don't see as much as you used to with Ramirez, certainly since he came to the club, is those late runs. Because of the three musketeers up top and the centre forward, you very rarely get the opportunity.
Ba too strong for Nastasic, but credit the 20-year-old, he got back there and shows some composure here on the end line. Aguero, Ivanovic has lost it, and here goes Tevez. Might not have the pace to run away from Luiz here. Ivanovic gets back in position. Here's Milner, not quite.
Yeah, it's a poor ball in the end. An extra little bit of pace on it. Milner would have been going one-on-one at Bertrand, but Bertrand read it real well. No messing around, just got it clear.
Chelsea starting to have some joy now, and a couple of positive moments for Demba Ba as well. Got the nod today ahead of Fernando Torres. He's been scoring goals of late. Back on the bench today. Here's Hazard. Beautifully balanced turn inside. Ramirez looking for Hazard again. Good challenge from Barry. Now Yaya Toure. Great contest so far.
Yeah, you just get the feeling in the middle of the park, other than Ramirez, Chelsea are always going to be second best when it comes to challenging for the ball.
Aguero had to slow it down here and wait for support. It arrives now. He's pushed Milner wide. Support arrives. Barry, chance to measure this one. And disappointingly from his point of view, he found only Ivanovic.
Well, Chelsea beginning to get forward a little more now, but of course, in doing that, they're opening themselves up to that counter-attack with Aguero and Tevez, and you've got a couple of smart football players like those two. You don't want to be giving them too much space.
Fiji ambles forward. Nastasic across to his skipper Company. Luiz, who certainly as a centre-back likes to get tight. Very tight on Tevez there. Referee happy with it.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything wrong with that. Tevez really was the one that was trying to lean on him, and he just let him fall back, let him fall over.
City to start again through Zabaleta on the right-hand side. Yaya Toure. Barry, Toure again. Not unable to effect a challenge. And Toure allowed to push on. Here's Aguero. Nasri's in. And Nasri's in again and scores. Got the benefit of the ricochet. And when he got the second bite at it, he was never going to miss. Samir Nasri with his first goal since October 24th in Amsterdam. And what a big one it is for Manchester City.
He's fortunate, Nasri, for me. He doesn't read it. Yaya Toure, superb ball, all the way into Aguero, who's just really going to set it back for Sami Nasri, and he doesn't read it. He ends up trying to pass it wide. It ricochets back to him, and as you said, he won't take two chances and throw them both away. There we go, right here. He should be holding his run. Nasri tries to pass it, gets it back. And of course this one, next one, back to the net. Just right there, he should be holding his run for that little layoff. Instead of that, he doesn't, tries to pass it, gets a ricochet. And even Nasri, in the form he's been in this year, won't miss from there.
Just his fourth goal of the season, Samir Nasri, and it's been a long, long time in coming. On the balance of play, Roberto Mancini will feel he deserves that. And can you trace it back to that run from Yaya Toure? We said the way he strides away, Mata couldn't make the challenge, no one came to meet him, he was allowed to pick his pass.
Well, which one? I mean, every time he gets it, you know he's looking to go forward and drive forward. He started the game doing it, he got away from Mikel, what, 2 minutes in? So no shock that he's doing it again.
Nasri buoyed by that goal, looking to take on Ivanovic.
Does a good job there, Nasri. Too many times these days you see forwards fouling the defender, making it easy for the ref. On that occasion, Nasri, he's smart, just stands off him, lets him kick it out, and now they're attacking.
And pretty much 5.5 months since he scored, Samir Nasri.
Well, he's owed Mancini a goal, never mind his teammates. Of course, Mancini, 6 weeks ago, questioning him in the newspapers, basically giving him a kick up the backside.
Milner breaks down there, and here's Hazard. Has a look up, he's only got Demba Ba to hit. Chased down by Company, they know each other well. There's Mikel. Manages to hold on under pressure. Space here for Mata.
Yeah, just too slow, Chelsea. Look at the blue jersey I've got back. They still have the ball though.
In by Azpilicueta, it's going to carry all the way through to Oscar. Numbers in the box here, if he can pick the right ball. Mata looking to curl it. Pretty much a dive for the cameras, I think, from Pantilimon.
I was just about to say, I'm not even sure why he's balling to dive. The shot's on, just can't quite get his feet sorted, Mata. And for me, that tells me that Pantilimon's not quite settled yet. It's clearly going wide, but he gives it everything he's got.
Mata's had a great season in front of goal, 17 in all competitions, including in a replay win against Brentford in an earlier round. They'd been given a scare away from home. They needed Fernando Torres in the dying minutes to rescue them there. Stark contrast, Manchester City have strolled through to this point without conceding a goal. Only faced top-flight opposition once in their run, though. That was Stoke, again we mentioned earlier. Outstanding performance away from home. Zabaleta's goal. And for Chelsea, in the defence of their title, there have been a few harem-scarum moments. Looked dead and buried when 2-0 down in quick-fire fashion at Old Trafford and 2-0 down at half-time. Hazard came on, Mikel came on, they changed it. Hazard with a brilliant goal, Ramirez with another. That got them the replay. And then Demba Ba popped up with the winner there.
Well, the reason they can do that and be 2-0 down against anybody and come back is because they've got quality. It's just a case of using it.
Good run there by Nasri. Managed to stay onside. Milner. Tevez. Aguero. Trying to skip away and force his way beyond. Here's Milner. Blocked on the line. Came off Aguero. Came off Cech. And in the end, it's in the goalkeeper's hands and Chelsea survive.
Well, they do. This ball here, normally Aguero, the touch is assured. Not on this occasion. I think that's actually going wide from Milner anyway.
Quickly to the other end, Oscar. Have to touch it into the run of Ramirez, who was travelling at full tilt again.
Just haven't quite got it right in that final third, Chelsea. They've been there enough times. Just can't quite get the pass right or the run right. Whatever it may be, they just slip up with the last piece of the puzzle.
Oscar drifting in off that left-hand side to leave room here for Bertrand. Chance to have a dart at Zabaleta perhaps. It's back to Oscar again. Here's Mikel. Lifts it forward for Ba, asking him to do something with that. And dug out by Mata. On it again, Juan Mata. Looks for Ba. Away by Anastasic.
Well, they got away with there, but you can't afford to stand off Juan Mata 25 yards from goal.
Final 5 minutes of a first half that has flown by here. Hazard inside, Mata. Finds some width on it, Oscar. Wants Bertrand to go on the overlap. Teased in by Oscar. Not the worst ball in the world. And no one on the end of it.
Well, I guess if Hazard had been 7'3", it wouldn't have been a bad ball, but it's kind of tough to ask him to get on the end of that. Here's the goal. Great little ball. Should have been a great layoff from Aguero. Nasri doesn't time it, but gets lucky and doesn't finish with his second chance.
And that celebration those City supporters have adopted over the last few years. And brought out in the first half here. I'm sure they'd have loved a derby semi-final, but Chelsea saw to it that wouldn't happen. With the winners of 2011 in front here.
That would have been something. 2 derbies in a week, yeah? One in the league and one in the cup.
Killed on the chest by Barry. Twinkling toes from Tevez. And Nasri, has he managed to keep it in play? He hasn't.
Yeah, it's well up play. I don't know what the linesman's waiting for there. Just put your flag up. It's the only job you've got. Just do it.
Here goes Zabaleta down the right-hand side. Milner further right. Mikel passes Zabaleta on to Bertrand. Milner comes on the inside. Looks for one over the top. Ooh, Ivanovic. Has a little look around, looking for someone to blame there, I think, Ivanovic, but committed himself to winning it. It's worked out okay for Chelsea. Mata, cleverly done. Bumped by Company. And the referee's going to let that one go as well.
People always ask me why I have a go at officials all the time. Well, I can assure you, if you're sitting on the touchline and the linesman's doing that against you, it's very unusual if you sit and say nothing.
Bertrand looking to steal a few yards here.
Never mind, the linesman sorted it out there. Well done, son.
And Chelsea, they've had their problems at Manchester City this season, and it looks like they'll be heading into half-time behind here. Certainly what both sides have are options on the bench, and beyond Torres and Lampard, there's also Victor Moses. He's had a really good season and would love to be part of a Chelsea side to go to a final to face his former club Wigan. So no panic, so plenty of time. Bertrand on the inside of Zabaleta. Here's Mata. Mikel and Oscar, who's certainly capable from this range. As Piliqueta to feed it in, away by Nastasic.
That's a poor ball from Piliqueta. Clichy just for some reason didn't want to close him down there. And with the space and time he had, he didn't use it well as Piliqueta.
Free kick given in Tevez's favour here.
Yeah, no question. It's Piliqueta. Again, all he has to do is stay on his feet, throwing his legs in. I mean, look at this. He's just asking the referee to give a foul, and he does. And I'd love to know whether it's the referee or it's Piliqueta that Benitez is having a go, because I know who it should be.
Well, the clocks inside those footballing brains out there now will tell them that the half-time whistle is imminent. Very positive first half for the FA Cup winners of 2 seasons ago. And could it get even more positive? Aguero with a lovely ability to go either side. Good defending by David Luiz this time.
Yeah, it is. You know, unfortunately with Luiz, you either get brilliance.
That's poor from Yaya Toure. Well, beaten. You don't often see John Obi Mikel skip away from people like that.
Well, I don't know why he's saying that's the first one, because it's not. He had a kick at Ramirez blatantly earlier on that got Barry booked, and then on this occasion, I mean, it just doesn't get any clearer than that. And quite frankly, in my opinion, challenges like that are red cards. He's made no attempt to go for the ball. He's challenging somebody knee height. It would be tough to argue against it if had he been given a red.
Something I'm sure that Rafa Benitez will have taken note of is that it's now Barry and Yaya Toure in the centre of that midfield for Chelsea on cautions. The final 30 seconds of this first half. Free kick opportunity here. Ivanovic and Luiz rumble forward again.
Well, and what can't do now City is start giving silly free kicks away. Clichy, as is Yaya Toure there, just gets the wrong side and just gives a free kick away.
Will they look to tempt Pantilimon off his line again? Last time they came up with a free kick in this situation, he came and didn't get there. Stays at home this time, leaves it to Company to deal with. Back in the mix again, away by Barry. You could well see them through to half-time. They might even have a break on here. Numbers pushing forward. Ramirez against Milner, and Milner has the strength to go on here. It's 3-on-2, 4-on-2, 5-on-2. Can Milner pick the right ball? He can't. It might come for Company, who's missed it. What a chance at the end of the first half for Manchester City to double their lead.
Well, I wasn't sure who was coming in at the back, and you said it might come for, and when you said Company, I thought, oh no. And he didn't. Well, he proved me right. Just a simple half volley. Should have been on target. Just gets it all wrong and puts it way, way wide. And actually, he was fortunate to get a chance at that, because the ball from Milner just wasn't a good ball. He tried to put it across with pace, got too much height on it, and Czech really should have done better.
Well, frantic end to a frantic half. At the end of it all, Manchester City with a goal advantage, courtesy of a long overdue strike from Samir Nasri. We'll take a quick break and sum up that first half in a moment.
Yes, punters, welcome to the world of sporting bet.
At Sporting Bet, we live and breathe sports and racing. It's what we do, day in, day out. We put the punter first, providing top odds and unique promotions on a huge range of markets. And our cutting-edge technology means you can bet anywhere, anytime. So if you're into sports and racing as much as we are, go to sportingbet.com.au today, because there's no better bet than a sporting bet.
No, I said it's true. I can feel the love. Can you feel it too? I can feel it. I can feel it. You know I said it's true. I can feel the love. Can you feel it too? I can feel it. I can feel it. You know I said it's true. I can feel the love. Can you feel it too? I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can
Sweat. Effort. Courage. Gladiators seeking glory. Friday night fights all season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
Robinson Cano. More like Robinson Can Yes. 4-time All-Star and a World Series champ. He makes it look easy. Makes turning 2 look like a one-man job. And he makes a walk-off look like a walk in the park. He even knows the easiest way to get grass stains out of pinstripes.
Toothpaste.
He's Robinson Cano, and he's about to take the stage. Orioles-Yankees. Live Monday on ESPN.
Welcome back to ESPN, the second of this season's FA Cup semi-finals at Wembley. And as it stands, Manchester City on course for a final against Wigan Athletic, leading Chelsea by 1-0 at half-time. Fantastic crowd, great noise inside the stadium, and treated to a great first half as well. Petr Cech, very prominent for Chelsea in the early stages.
Well, City putting the pressure on right from the start. Shot from Barry, touch from Toure, Aguero, sharp as attack in the penalty area, penalty box, but not just quite as sharp as Cech with his save down right.
Well, the first half dominated by Manchester City. Took Chelsea some time to work their way into the game. Had an opportunity here, Hazard, cleared off the line by Company.
Well, I think Pantilimon must have been bored because he wanted something to come do. He came for this cross, got nowhere near it. He's now in no man's land. Hazard doesn't quite get it right, but it's going in the net. But Company, again, smart header off the line.
10 minutes to go to the breakthrough for Manchester City. A touch of fortune about it, but in the end he was in the right place, got the ricochet, and Nasri with a long overdue goal.
Well, it should have been in the first time. Great ball from Toure. Aguero setting Nasri up for a first time shot, but he doesn't read it, but he gets a break, gets a ricochet and then puts it in.
Not too many clear-cut chances for Chelsea. One here for Juan Mata that was always arcing wide and away from Pantilimon.
Yeah, it's a tough shot. Just couldn't quite sort his feet out, and it slipped harmlessly wide.
And every time they've gone forward, they've carried a threat, Manchester City. Aguero almost in, and Milner. Well, this time Aguero, the man in the wrong place. And right on half-time, an incredible break. Numbers for Manchester City, but the final ball here for Milner, and in the end, the final finish from Company, just like it.
Yeah, it was. I thought Cech might have done better with the cross. He parries it out. It goes straight to Company. One, what's he doing there? And two, what did he try and do with a volley? It was poor.
Well, look at the possession stats, almost 70% for Manchester City, and that would seem about right. First half, they dominated. A couple of moments for Chelsea in terms of being positive going forward from Rafa Benitez's point of view. Perhaps 1-0 down at half-time. Not the worst situation they found themselves in.
At Sportingbet, we live and breathe sports and racing. That's why we developed cutting-edge technology that lets you bet anywhere, anytime, with top odds and unique promotions on a wide range of markets. Just another reason why there's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
This April, open your eyes to new stories on FX.
But no, I'm not afraid, and they can't even stop.
From David S. Goyer, co-writer of the Dark Knight trilogy, meet history's first real superhero,
Leonardo da Vinci.
This is Da Vinci's Demons. Britain's favourite comedian, Jack D, returns in Lead Balloon.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
The battle for a UFC contract continues in The Ultimate Fighter. The future of Sam Crow hangs in the balance in Sons of Anarchy.
Make the hard choice, son.
And Frank Martin will deliver any package in Transport of the series. New stories this April on FX.
When the destruction finally ran its course, it wasn't exactly Earth anymore. Something new had been created.
Is this St. Louis?
Now we call it Defiance.
She's some sort of bounty.
She's my daughter.
This town is worth fighting for.
I'm starting to like this place.
You're an idiot.
I know.
Australia's Grand Bowler in Defiance starts Thursday 9:30 with a movie-length episode on SF.
These three guys work way too hard.
at your big-ass nose with a deflector there.
Because if you want the job done right, you have to do it yourself.
So are you sure you're ready?
Huh?
I'm HIV positive.
New Workaholics starts Wednesday, May 1, only on Comedy.
The ATP heads to beautiful Monaco for the Monte Carlo Rolex Masters. It is here where Rafael Nadal dominates in unprecedented fashion. With 8 straight championships, the King of Clay will face a gauntlet of superstars, determined to stop his amazing run. The stars are set to shine on the clay courts of Europe, the Monte Carlo Rolex Masters. Coverage begins live Monday on ESPN and ESPN3.com.
If you're not watching PTI Australia, you're the one missing out.
And final, it'll just be the fairy tale.
haven't done your homework.
The fairy tale.
Rioche is injured, he won't play. They're
Saw
key
Shinji
defence.
yesterday, he is fine.
No, you saw Shinji?
I saw Shinji.
What, over a bit of sushi?
Sushi with Shinji?
Sushi, yeah. You wouldn't know how to eat it when they know how to spell it. Move on, Russ. Catch it Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. on ESPN2. As always, you know it makes sense.
Welcome back to ESPN. Half-time at Wembley. It's Chelsea 0, Manchester City 1. Samir Nasri with the goal in the 35th minute. As we bid to find out who our second finalists in the FA Cup this season will be. First semi-final played yesterday. Millwall essentially with home advantage against Wigan Athletic. Top tier against second tier. What a fabulous breakthrough goal. Haruna Kone for Sean Maloney.
Well, it's simple football, but it's done to the highest standard. Beautiful ball over the top. Lovely weight on it as well. Maloney just sorts his feet out, opens his body up, and a simple volley, or he certainly made it look simple, into the net.
Well, Millwall had a spell of about 20 minutes in the second half, couldn't find a levelling goal, and then undone later on Jordi Gomez with a lovely ball through. And Callum McManaman, this has been his competition this season, with a timely finish.
Well, Gomez here just waiting for the full-back to go wide. He obliges. McManaman makes a run inside, and that's a cool finish round the goalie and into an empty net. Game over.
And for Roberto Martinez, for Dave Whelan, what a great day. Not such a great day if you're a Millwall supporter and saw this going on from some of those who claim to support your club as well. Disappointing end to the day, but a great day for Wigan. And Dave Whelan will get the chance to lead them out at Wembley. Played in an FA Cup final himself. Disappointingly broke his leg. He still remembers it so vividly. He'll be back in a month's time. This is what's been going on in a hectic weekend in the Premier League. Arsenal, 3 late goals to beat Norwich and continue this great run of theirs. And elsewhere, some notables. Manchester United winning again earlier today at Stoke. And the derby in the northeast is Sunderland beating Newcastle 3-0.
Yeah, incredible result away from home. Paulo Di Canio sliding on his knees after the goals. Incredible.
Well, no such exuberant celebrations from Roberto Mancini for Nasri's goal, but a significant goal. It has the winners of 2 years ago. A goal up against the defending champions. Second half next.
At Sportingbet, we live and breathe sports and racing. That's why we developed cutting-edge technology that lets you bet anywhere, anytime, with top odds and unique promotions on a wide range of markets. Just another reason why there's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Welcome to Barton University. Any interest in joining our a cappella group?
Sorry, I don't even sing.
Hi, what's your name?
Fat Amy.
You call yourself Fat Amy?
Yeah, so twig bitches like you don't do it behind my back.
You take your aim. You can sing.
Are you guys getting ready for the rip-off?
Let's remix this business.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you got my mind, hey, Mickey. Hey.
Shorty, get down, good lord. Baby got 'em open all over town.
Strictly bitch, you don't play around.
It's not enough to be good. We need to put ourselves out there, be different.
You guys are the best.
Please don't stop the music.
Pitch Perfect reads it now on Foxtel, on demand and box office. This April, open your eyes to new stories on FX.
Let them know I'm not afraid, and they can't even stop.
From David S. Goyer, co-writer of The Dark Knight trilogy. Meet history's first real superhero.
Leonardo da Vinci.
This is Da Vinci's Demons. Britain's favourite comedian Jack D returns in Lead Balloon.
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
The battle for a UFC contract continues in The Ultimate Fighter. The future of Sam Crow hangs in the balance in Sons of Anarchy.
Make the hard choice, son.
And Frank Martin will deliver any package in Transport of the series. New stories this April on FX.
The power of sport. The potency of the punch. Sweat. Effort. Courage. Gladiators seeking glory. Friday Night Fights all season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
The road to Wembley continues.
The count erupts. Magnificent football all round. Borussia Dortmund have come back from the dead.
Their name is in the semi-final draw. April 24 on ESPN and ESPN3.com. Brought to you by Heineken, proud sponsor of the UEFA Champions League.
Welcome back to ESPN. Des Curran and Steve Nicol with you as Chelsea make their way back onto the pitch for the second half of this FA Cup semi-final, needing to find at least a goal in this second period for Roberto Mancini. The last season, an abrupt end to their FA Cup defence when they ran into Manchester United. First out, lost it 3-2, had Vincent Kompany sent off. This time around, they've managed this competition very well. In truth, the fixture computer was kind to them. Watford, Stoke, Leeds and Barnsley. All bar that Stoke game played at home. They pretty much coasted through to this point. This is always going to be the biggest challenge so far. And so far, you'd have to say they've handled it very well.
Yeah, there's certainly only been one team in it for me so far, and that's Manchester City. But, of course, it's only one goal. And as I always say, it's either a piece of brilliance or a mistake, and Chelsea are back in the game, so City have to come back out and they have to go about it exactly the same way they did in the first half, and that was from the first whistle. They pushed Chelsea back and really were the most dominant team, no question.
Well, whether it's a question of Chelsea being sent out early or Manchester City being a little tardy out for the start of this second half, not quite sure what's the case. A lot of the supporters yet to take their seats, so maybe Chelsea have come out early. And to that end, you'd wonder what were the words of Rafa Benitez at half-time.
Well, I've never seen a team come out early after a pat in the back, put it that way. So I don't think there's any question, and I certainly hope there's a few harsh words in there, because they haven't really competed. We spoke about Ramirez, and the reason he's stuck out is because he's the only one really that has been aggressive in the challenge, or has certainly tried to force anything and go forward.
Ramirez played an hour on Thursday night, one of just 4 survivors from the starting 11 from the defeat in Moscow. Petr Cech, Azpilicueta and David Luiz, the others. There is a question of fatigue with Chelsea. They've been playing a lot of games. And they are the side that really has to lift it in this second half. They have to try and get a grip in midfield. They've certainly been lacking that, and you just wonder if the manager will turn to Frank Lampard at some point.
When you have so many players who want to go forward, we spoke about the 3 Musketeers in Ba, it certainly is a lethal combination when they can get on the ball, but when they don't, they haven't really done enough defending, and I don't even mean making challenges, just getting a good spot where you can affect the play.
And Chris Foy blows the whistle to signify the start of the second half. That's got the supporters scurrying back to their seats. Chelsea in their changed dark kit, playing from left to right in this second period. Manchester City's away record, sorry Steve, this season. They've lost 6 times on the road, 3 of them in the Champions League, just 3 times domestically at Sunderland, Southampton, most recently at Everton. A battle-hardened side, as you'd have to say is the case with Chelsea.
Yeah, and it's not the start you want, you know. As Azpilicueta either has to make a good pass or put a ball in an area to just put City under pressure. Instead, He gives Mikel a bad ball, Mikel does the same to him, then he gives a bad throw to Ramirez, and of course they've started the second half exactly how they started the first, and that is under pressure.
Well, Ramirez is going to get booked here. Carried on those protests too long.
Yeah, and that's not a smart move for somebody whose challenges are aggressive and have to be spot on. If you're going to get a yellow, don't get it for using your tongue.
Ramirez, who came up with some big moments last season, not just the FA Cup final, but the Champions League semi-final away at Barcelona, when he knew he'd be missing the final through suspension. Big player for the Milner. Sets it back for Barry to curl it in. Aguero meets it, and it's in. What a fantastic finish. And a lightning start to the second half for Manchester City. They double their advantage, and the man who won the derby on Monday night could be setting Manchester City on their way here.
Superb ball, superb header, and awful defending. You stick all those together, and somebody's got to pick the ball out of the net. Gareth Barry knew exactly what he was looking for. Superb ball. Aguero timed his run to perfection. And Ivanovic and Azpilicueta not quite sure where they come, where they stay. And Azpilicueta plays them all onside, and Aguero, that's a superb header, knows exactly where he's putting it, and does it. In off the post. Check, even Check isn't getting anywhere close to that.
Well, so bright in that penalty area, Aguero. He just stepped and peeled off Ivanovic and then looped his header, sent it back from the direction it came, which is what you're told to do. Joy unconfined for Aguero and the Manchester City supporters. And what a week he is having. Two very different goals, but two massive goals for the club.
You know, we always say when you step on the field, the first thing you do, make it a good thing, because if you do that, then everybody falls into line. And I said that right from the kick-off in the second half, every time a Chelsea man had the ball, he made a mistake, and all it did was encourage City to come forward, and eventually they end up scoring goals.
Well, they came back from 2 down at Old Trafford, Chelsea. They're going to have to do the same likewise here against the other Manchester side. They need that inspiration. Who can provide it? Oscar to swing it in, away by Company. Here is Ramirez, plenty of venom. They're lacking accuracy. And what a horrible start to the second half for them. And for Rafa Benitez, as the camera focuses on John Terry. I think that's always going to happen when you have a centre forward of Aguero's stature score with a header. Could Ivanovic, could Luiz have done better? Great movement though, great anticipation, and a fabulous ball as well.
Yeah, it seems a little harsh to start criticising the defenders, but the fact is that if they do get up, if they do have a good line, then they don't score. After that, then it's just quality.
Oscar teasing Company, who gets there at the third time of asking. Here's Tevez. Aguero back to Nasri. 2 goal scorers. Now Barry. Well, the FA Cup win 2 seasons ago ended a 35-year wait for Manchester City for a piece of silverware. They've added the league title since. Nasri, lovely ball. Milner finds Luiz too strong.
Well, that's the third time Luiz has had to do a 1v1 in the penalty area. And for the third time, he's absolutely spot on. Calm, he's strong, holds his ground and gets the ball and clears it. That's what you're supposed to do.
I wonder if Roberto Martinez, the Wigan manager, would have had a preference here. The one thing you look at with Manchester City is their physical power.
I don't think if you're Wigan, picking Chelsea or City is going to make an awful lot of difference, to be honest with you. They're still going to be underdogs by a long way.
Yeah, we've seen some famous FA Cup upsets before. Well, Bertrand never gave that up. Milner and Zabaleta did. Bar makes his move now. And I After doing so well up to that point, Bertrand didn't have the ball he was looking for.
Well, he didn't have any options, did he? Demba Ba was well covered in the middle, and there wasn't anybody breaking the neck to get forward and try and help him.
There's Hazard, the man who brought them back into it at Old Trafford. Goes to the right-hand side, Azpilicueta. Backing up Clichy. Ramirez back to Mata, curls one in. Just needed a little bit more on it. Hazard. Here's Mata, taking it up a little bit for him. Draws in Toure, he's lost it, Mata. And here come Manchester City again, 3-on-2. Tevez to the right, Aguero to the left. It's to Tevez, Toure goes. And the chance is gone.
I think we need to give Mata huge credit. He's run from one box right into his own box to cut out that pass, but Yaya Toure, for me, just doesn't make his mind up early enough. And even when he does, he gives Tevez a poor ball, give it him behind him, and then from there it just breaks down. But huge credit to Mata.
But think of it, Steve, late in the first half, there was that break from Manchester City. Chelsea just couldn't keep pace with them going backwards, and it's happened again there. Oscar, well-timed challenge this time by Zabaleta.
I think there's no question that City looks so much fresher than Chelsea.
Look at Ramirez here trying to stretch those legs to come across to Barry. Big ask of Chelsea now. Title defence that looks in real jeopardy. A competition that has been their preserve in recent times. Is there a response? Is there an answer? What is on their side is the clock.
Well, we'll find out, because if somebody gets kicked in a light blue jersey the next minute, then we'll know there's a bit of fight in Chelsea. If they stand off and let them pass this ball around, then you'll know that, you know what, that heart isn't there.
And Manchester City winning at Stoke today. Was a glimmer of light, a very faint one after the derby victory for Manchester City in terms of a league title defence. That looks gone now, so for them, having gone out of Europe in December in Dortmund, it's all on the League Cup, or the FA Cup rather, for Manchester City in terms of silverware this season. And Chelsea do have the Europa League, but they'll be desperate to stay in this. Mata pings it across to Azpilicueta. Again, he backs up Clichy. Prevents the cross coming in first time. And then, cool and composed, plays it away.
Good defending, one-on-one. Clichy against Bertrand. Azpilicueta, sorry. And there was only one winner.
There's Demba Ba looking to work it with Oscar. Azpilicueta's touch has taken it to Tevez. Aguero on the left-hand side. And Aguero could be in here. Can he get on the end of this? Ivanovic had the recovery pace. Fighting for every ball, Manchester City.
Well, it's a lot easier when you're 2-0 up to just keep going and keep fighting. You can see the pain on some of the Chelsea players when they're chasing back. It really looks like hard work now for them. And then that break, the fortunate Tevez just takes a heavy touch at the wrong time, and Aguero, having run, what, 50 yards to back him up, just couldn't get on the end of the pass that really was a little too long for him.
Zabaleta. Milner stays on side. Stands up his cross, finds only Ivanovic. Yaya Toure. This is it through to Zabaleta. Maybe the wrong man in the right spot there.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Toure. He actually threw me one as well. I was waiting for the ball to go wide, and then he just whipped it inside to Zabaleta, who just couldn't quite get a hold of it. Just a little too much pace on it.
Luiz in that languid fashion out towards Hazard on this near side. Dozen goals for Hazard in his debut season. They'll look to him, they'll look to Mata, they'll look to Oscar. Demba Ba continues to move around up there, trying to shake off company, but the ball isn't arriving. Oscar. Now Mata. Sky blue wall ahead of him. Sets across to Ramirez. Mata again, Oscar. Still with Oscar. Skims off Hazard. Ba looking for it. Company with a good header. Heading back towards his own goal. The check has come a long way. Decision time for Azpilicueta.
I mean, it's hard enough to see a goalie head on a ball, but when you've got a hat on as well, it makes it twice as hard. But he manages to get away with it. Azpilicueta kept cool though.
Nice ball through the gap from Mata. Here's Ramirez. Hazard. Oscar makes a little move. Hazard holds on. Here's Demba Ba. For Mata. An offside flag up against Demba Ba, but again, when they got there, maybe a second or two too long, just dwelling on it, waiting for the move, waiting for the pass.
It's too predictable, isn't it? You got three of them, and the three of them make the same run into the box. Clichy does a good job of closing the ball, which means that Hazard can't play it. You know, you need one going in early, one hanging out, one coming in late. You know, you need a little bit of variation, and that is exactly what Chelsea didn't have, was any variation.
Blue moon rings around Wembley Stadium. The mood far from blue from those supporters at the moment. They've witnessed their side put in an excellent, well, almost an hour now. And established a 2-goal lead. Here's Ryan Bertrand. His first senior goal came against Manchester City in the season-opening Community Shield. Oscar wins the corner off Company.
It seems like Chelsea can't move unless Mata's involved. Of course, you want him on the ball, but nobody else seems to be taking any sort of lead. It's all safe. Nobody going at his defender. And again, look at that. I mean, it doesn't get any safer than that. Instead of trying to come up with something extra special or different, it's just a big ball thrown in, and they end up giving a free kick away in the bottom corner here.
Well, this could have gone either way, I think.
Wow. I can't believe it's actually gone the way.
Well, Luiz looked to tug back Zabaleta. I think the assistant referee thinking that Zabaleta impeded Luiz when he was on the ground.
No, it's been a bad weekend for linesmen, and this guy's just keeping it going.
Well, Pantilimon organising what's going on in front of him. Good angle this for Mata. Hooks it in towards the back. Pantilimon comes and claims.
Well, I don't wish to state the obvious, but if you've got a goalkeeper who's almost 7 foot tall, you've got to try and keep it away from him.
So you often see opposition put a player in front of him, but didn't happen that time. It's a comfortable claim for Pantilimon. Here goes Nasri. Tevez runs the channel. Here comes David Luiz. Back out to Barry. Chuck saw it get away from Luiz to bring it forward. I think the longer this game goes and Chelsea chasing it, we'll see David Luiz come out from the back.
Well, Chelsea need to do something. I mean, as heavy a touch as Barry had there, Chelsea still couldn't get on the ball.
Yaya Toure. Persistence and strength. And an improvised touch to find Tevez.
He's so strong, Yaya Toure.
Here's Company, he fancies it. Doesn't score many.
Well, he might have fancied it, but I didn't fancy it when he picked it up here. The crowd are willing him to shoot. He must have heard them. He's given it all he's got. But it's not his game.
It's the 7 Manchester City goals. One this season against Newcastle. Came up with a big one towards the end of last season against Manchester United. Oh, Pantilimon. Nastasic wanted him to come.
I'm sure Benitez is starting to think about changing something. I certainly hope he is. Do you keep Ba on? Do you make it a straightforward swap? But at the end of the day, Ba's never seen the ball, so you can't really say he's had a bad game because he's never had a chance. I think it has to be in the midfield area. Oscar maybe. Bring Torres on. Try and make it a little bit more traditional. And just get the ball forward early and try and put some pressure on City.
Clichy thought he could nick that. Oscar nicked it away.
That's an important challenge from Nastasic there. If he doesn't get that, Oscar's in, because Clichy followed the ball. That's a no-no. When you play 1-2s, you don't follow the ball.
Roberto Mancini, who knows what it takes to win cup competitions as a player. 6 times he lifted the Coppa Italia, further 4 times as a manager. Here's Oscar. A little nick on the cross off Nastasic. That made it easy for Pantilimon. Important for Mancini, though, isn't it? If he can go on and win this, he'll have won the cup in his first season. He'll have won the league last season and the cup again this season. Or at least that would be the plan.
Well, I guess there's a couple of ways of looking at it. From that point of view, yes, it's silverware. If somebody said at the start of the season, you're going to have some silverware that counts this season, I'm sure he'd be thinking about the Premier League or the Champions League. But next in line's the FA Cup, and I'm sure at this stage they'll be happy with that.
Still a huge competition, we should say, as well, with Mancini in terms of full seasons they were talking about. He arrived in December of 09. Take over from Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes as Manchester City manager seems an eternity ago now, given all that has gone on with the club. They don't even have Balotelli anymore.
Well, they certainly don't stand still, City, do they?
Oscar, lovely first touch. Second couldn't quite complement it, but Hazard will keep it in Chelsea's possession. Mata. Hazard again. Beautifully shifted onto his right foot. On either side, he'll have a go.
Well, he just lost patience, didn't he? Just not moving the ball quick enough, Chelsea, which means that City are getting people behind the ball. And here's that first goal from Nasri. Second one, beautiful header from Aguero from a beautiful ball as well from Gareth Barry.
And it's time for Torres.
It's a good job we saw him before he put that on and we wouldn't recognise him, right?
Well, there's this school of thought that now he's got that mask on, he's found the route to goal again. I wonder if it's like a thoroughbred racehorse with blinkers, Steve.
It's hard to argue that since he's won it, he's certainly scored some goals, which is what he's paid to do.
Well, between Cech being an inspired goalkeeper with the headgear and Torres scoring at the other end, it might become a fashion accessory around Stamford Bridge. West London, a fashion capital. Might just catch on. Here goes Hazard. Beautifully balanced runner. Now Mata.
Nice little dummy from the ref there.
Oscar. Manchester City plugging the gaps again. Oscar gliding across the turf. Here's Ramirez. Mata. Looking for options. It's to Bertrand he goes. 5 teammates in the penalty area. Hazard looks to provide. Ramirez. Oh, was he caught in 2 minds?
I mean, that was a strange bit of play. I'm not even convinced that Hazard knew what he was doing with this. Just seemed as though he just threw it in and somehow it went straight to Ramirez, and that's not a good header. Simple for Pantilimon to just reach over and pick it up.
And Fernando Torres still awaits his opportunity to come on. It's going to be an interesting change to see who Benitez takes off. There is the option of dropping Oscar into a midfield area and maybe sacrificing either Mikel or Ramirez.
I mean, if you really want to go for it, you take Mikel off and drop.
And that's what he's going to do.
Got Oscar back in. It would have been Oscar, Mata, you name it, one of the two. You need goals, you need players to get forward, and Mikel isn't going to do either of those two things.
Fernando Torres on 20 goals now for the season. Oh, here's a chance for Demba Ba. Oh, magnificent finish. He's done it again. Torres off the bench, but Ba with the goal. A stunning strike once more. And Chelsea back in it.
Well, straight away you put two guys up front and you cause a little bit of problems. Neither Nastasic nor company really were particularly aggressive there. Just sort of held off Ba and he just swiveled and hit it. And I would have to say as well, Pantilimon would have probably been better off diving for it before it went past him. Just a big ball hit from Luiz. Go and fight for that. Company misses it. It's a good finish, but you got two centre backs who are just made for fighting and going and winning challenges and headers.
He's making a habit of this, Demba Ba. An acrobatic finish to see off Manchester United in the replayed quarter-final. And what about that, to get the defending champions back into this, and still over a quarter of the game remaining.
Well, there was nothing.
You're spot on, Steve. The arrival of Torres just seemed to shake the two centre-halves, who all of a sudden were one-on-one back there.
Well, they always seem to be trying to play silky soccer with Oscar and Hazard and Mata, and you know, we're always talking about it, but you know, sometimes the easiest way is just go route one, cause a little bit of problem, and then some quality can take over after that, and that's what's happened with Ba. It's a quality finish.
And for the first time in the game, a little bit of anxiety seen on the face of Roberto Mancini. Demba Ba, 6 Chelsea goals, 4 now in this competition. And now you can hear the Chelsea supporters. It's a moment they needed, and they've gotten it early enough from their point of view.
Well, they needed it all right. They haven't been in the game up until now.
Tevez, outstanding ball to Aguero. His control is immaculate. Aguero inside, Yaya Toure. Tevez regained his feet, but now Ramirez to surge away with it for Chelsea. Pushes it forward for Ba. Company get himself a head start and needed it.
Yeah, that's superb. That's more like Company. I think City as well now probably have to look at making a change. I would take Nasri off. He has scored a goal, but he's been pretty ineffective. Hasn't been in the game, even when they've had the ball in this second half. And they just have to try and stem the tide a little bit, Chelsea.
Here is Nasri. Slips it to Tevez. Look to play in Aguero, read by David Luiz, who's been strong at the back today.
I should have said City needs to stem the tide, not Chelsea.
3-on-3 here, Hazard skips away from Nastasic, who got back there full stretch. He's given it to Mata. Pantilimon gets there. Needed every inch of that massive frame. In the blink of an eye, it was almost 2-2.
Any other goalkeeper in the world, and that's a penalty kick. But this guy had room to spare with those arms.
What a contest we have now.
That's a huge bit of goalkeeping. As bad as he looked earlier, that was huge.
Now Chelsea responding in the manner of champions.
And actually it's quite funny as well. I mean, the Stasic just can't get enough on that, and here you think this is a penalty kick, but then those big long arms of Pantilimon just wrapping round Mata and the ball. Look at this, with room to spare. It's a huge moment for him.
Well, he's lost his run of clean sheets in the FA Cup, but that's a massive moment for Costel Pantilimon. Here is Hazard. Chelsea the side with their tails up now. Trying to take on and beat Clichy. Oh, Hazard's done well. Clichy's lost it. Another chance, and Pantilimon with another save. Ba denied from almost point-blank range.
Wow. I mean, Clichy, just a basic error. Play safe and put the ball out. Doesn't. And how does that not go on? I'll tell you how it doesn't go on. There's a huge frame of Pantilimon. Not only got himself in a great starting position, but his reactions were superb as well.
Well, this is sensational. It's Old Trafford all over again. Chelsea looked down and out, dead and buried there. They found a second half response, and they're finding it again here. Joe Hart looking pensive. Well, it was straight at him, but you have to react. You have to have yourself in the position, don't you?
Well, you do. You have to have a good starting position and just follow the ball. Don't panic and gamble and dive one way. And that's what he did.
Chelsea just look a yard quicker now. Oscar. Now Bertrand. Oscar again. Mata makes a move. It's out to Hazard, who's exerting a growing influence on this game now. Slaloming run from Hazard. Keeps it tight with Torres. Room on the right-hand side, Azpilicueta. First touch, or rather got him into a spot of bother.
Well, City need to get a hold of the ball the way they have done. Or certainly had done for, what, 66 minutes. Try and take the sting out of this game, and as I said, I think they need to make a change. And it looks like Tevez, but that's not the one I would have made.
Inside the last 20 minutes, Carlos Tevez to go. Leading scorer this season. I just thought when you were mentioning Nasri that he might look to someone like Kolarov to tighten things up. Instead he goes for Javi Garcia into the middle of the park.
That will do as well. That will do the job that I was thinking of, which was tightening up in the middle of the park and regaining control of the game.
Now you've got Barry, Toure, Garcia and Milner all out there.
Well, Nasri's position from here looks to be up front with Aguero. Looks like a pretty straightforward 4-4-2. I can't see that, actually. He may have just made a poor run. I can't see them going 4-4-2 with
Yaya Toure perhaps
wide,
ahead of Garcia and Barry here.
It's more likely to be Nasri on the right with Toure getting up to support
and
when
Milner,
he can.
Milner on the left-hand side.
Yeah, and keeping it nice and solid in the middle and get there late. And don't do what he's doing right now, and that's standing up front. That's not what he wants from him.
So the shape pretty much remains the same. Yaya Toure with a little bit more freedom now. There he is to climb and win the header.
Yeah, I can't believe that's what he wants from him. With a goal ahead, you don't want him standing up front.
Here's Aguero. Trying to tempt Azpilicueta into an ill-timed challenge. Milner. Clichy. Right-footed, not his greatest ball, and now Oscar for Chelsea. Luiz. Had the option to let that one run. Finds the ball forward to Bar. Now Mata. Torres. First chance to have a run here. Still going Torres. Company got a toe in it. Hazard wins the header. Decision time again. Pantilimon happy. Knowing that he's got the advantage of his arms and those telescopic arms, he can just wait for it to bounce through.
Yeah. It's a brave man that takes him on.
And they have summoned those reserves of energy, Chelsea, and they're making a real fight of this now. Oscar look to pull the strings from that deeper position now. Nice ball forward. Mata. Oscar joins in again. Held up by Barry. Here's Hazard. Likewise by Garcia. Nasri comes to meet Bertrand. Can they pick a way through the defending champions? Mata once more. Azpilicueta. Ramirez. Inside the final 15 minutes at Wembley. Pulsating affair, still in the balance. Torres takes over. Drops the shoulder. Still going Torres. There was venom behind that. Charged down by Company. Zabaleta, well-timed challenge on Hazard. And Manchester City camped on the edge of their own penalty area now, looking to break out. Tidied up by Ivanovic.
I thought this has made a huge difference already to Chelsea, not just on the goal, but he just looks sharper and livelier than everybody else on the field, and he looks hungry. He wants to do well, not
Great
just
touch from
emanate through the rest of
Azpilicueta.
his team.
What's the cross like? It's not bad. Company at full stretch, denies it through to Ba. Swinging from end to end here. There is that danger at Manchester City, a goal in front, making a defensive change that they might drop too deep.
Well, and I'm looking at Yaya Toure here, and he's rubbing the back of his left leg, which would tell me that he has a little problem or a little tightness. If that's the case, get him off.
Here he is now. Pretty much playing as a withdrawn centre forward at the moment, Yaya Toure. Aguero drifting off him. And he's stretching those legs now. It's for Aguero. Ivanovic is there again for Chelsea.
To me, Toure looks spent.
Oscar, nice early ball forward. Hazard down the left-hand side. Torres towards the right. The referee's going to bring it back with Chelsea in possession. And that would signify, does he have to get a yellow card here? I think he's going to have to.
Awful defending from Company. There's not only him, but he's got 4 teammates around him. Doesn't need to challenge anybody. Just keep the ball in front of you. I mean, it's a sign of fatigue. That's what that is. I mean, he's missed a fair bit of the season. He's only recently back. Is it beginning to take its toll on him? That core fitness that he's probably missed. That challenge would suggest so.
He missed 8 games, only returning in the last 2. Vincent Kompany after a calf problem at Stoke in a previous round, and that was a poor challenge on his international teammate Hazard. Never disguised his intentions, a bit like that Yaya Toure challenge in the first half that you weren't best pleased with.
Well, no wonder Mike Summerby looks a little bit apprehensive there, a bit pensive, hoping for the final whistle like the rest of the supporters in blue.
What a difference that goal from Demba Ba made. Just 10-11 minutes ago now. And Chelsea have been a different proposition in the second half. It's quite a distance out, but Luiz fancies it.
Well, I would suggest there's only 2 things going to happen here. It's either in the back of the net, or it's going to go 30 yards over the crossbar.
Here we go, Luiz. Oh, he's got it to dip. And Pantilimon was interested.
Well, fortunately for me, it was high enough that you could see it was over the crossbar. But the way he hits this, it goes up, it looks as though it's well over the bar there, and then all of a sudden it's coming down, just not quite on frame, and just a little bit high.
Well, they've gone through every emotion today, those Manchester City supporters. A dominant first half display, and at the moment just hanging on in there.
Well, listen, 20 minutes ago they were all shouting at Ole. Things have changed somewhat since then. But you'd have to say that you'd expect Chelsea at some stage, because they're behind, to have some pressure.
Yaya Toure, Zabaleta's free far side. Toure going on himself, looking for the finish. Off balance as he struck it, seemed to be clipped. The Mancini certainly believes so, but no whistle.
Well, what he should be complaining about is Yaya Toure not having a look up and giving the ball to Zabaleta. It's a great run from him. He doesn't see him, he doesn't lift his head. He could have got a free kick, but he didn't.
Here goes Hazard, fully recovered. Challenge from Zabaleta. Not the prettiest you'll ever see, but certainly effective.
Well, that little piece there shows you why he is City's Player of the Year. On the one hand, he's made a 60-yard run to get forward, should have had a pass. 2 seconds later, he's back defending, throwing his head on the line and winning the ball back.
Oh, now what's going on here? Aguero seemed to land down on David Luiz. How much was intentional or not, we'll have to wait for the replay to see.
Well, he always looks calm, Aguero, but you know there's a little fire burning inside him. It's a good shoulder from Luis.
Now, is that a stamp from Aguero?
It absolutely is, there's no question. It's not only a stamp, it's 2 feet as well.
Not happy that Luis went into him first, but look at that. He could easily have got out of the way of that Aguero.
Well, it's a forearm smash from Luis there. And Aguero retaliates and takes the opportunity to put both feet and studs into the backside of David Luiz.
If you're refereeing this, your decision on that?
Well, if you can see that, it's a red card.
Just a free kick. And Aguero, who came up with a magical moment for what, as it stands, is the winning goal. That not a moment he will reflect kindly at all on, and grateful. Perhaps that Chris Foy didn't see it, because if he did, it's hard to see any other decision bar a red card.
Well, I guess the only thing I could see is there'll be a certain committee will be looking at that, and they will be giving it a suspension.
Bertrand Zabaleta again for Manchester City. Tidied up by Toure. Here's Nasri. Not many will outrun Ramirez in a situation like that. Skips away from Yaya Toure as well. Mata looks down the middle. Oh, Torres could be onto this. A fraction away.
That's one of those if-only moments. Great ball put and he just can't get on the end of it. City really having to fight for their lives right now.
Bertrand to bring it forward. Back to Hazard. Now Mata. He provided that ball over the top. Ramirez. Azpilicueta, very narrow. Torres wanted at the back post. Azpilicueta will look for him to challenge and win against Zabaleta. The bar just couldn't get there.
Yeah, just a little bit too wide. Had he been another 5 yards closer, then that might have been a ball in the middle of the goal instead of still wider than near post.
Milner, now he's lost it. Well, we questioned if Chelsea would be the side looking for Teague going into this. Well, they're finishing the stronger here. 59th game of the season for them. If they reach the final of the Europa League and the FA Cup, it will be a 70-game season. Still got a fight on their hands in terms of end-of-season Champions League spot as well. They haven't got the easiest run in. The derby to come midweek against Fulham. Got Liverpool, Tottenham, Swansea, Manchester United, Villa and Everton to come as well. Cech is coming for this and deals with it well.
I think Cech's had more headers today than Demba Ba.
Zabaleta with stoppage time, perhaps at most 10 minutes for Chelsea to force extra time here. And this is what they don't want to do, give away free kicks, allow Manchester City to eat up the clock.
It just gives City a time to get a breath and get settled again. And get the leaders in the team, people like Toure, people like Company, to get around and get everybody coming in tight and be solid at the very least.
Oh, it's a bad one from Torres, right down on the calf, the Achilles here of Sergio Aguero. That does not make pretty viewing.
It doesn't. I'll give Torres the benefit of the doubt there. I think he's stretching to get the ball. Aguero doing what all good strikers do, they get the body in the way, and that's just a rake down the calf.
And Chris Foy, you're looking at Aguero a few moments ago, he could have seen red. And Torres, another referee, might have viewed that as a red card offence as well, perhaps. Barry fighting for it. That's what Manchester City have to do now. Eases away from Ramirez, backed up by Milner. Space on the right-hand side for Nasri. A rare foray forward here for Manchester City. Toure wanted it back. Never arrived from Nasri, who then bundles over Oscar. Spotted by the referee, an advantage allowed here. But none will come as it's a tired-looking ball from Azpilicueta.
Well, that's a tired ball, but for me, Nasri's trying to play a ball that just isn't on. Listen, if you're 3 or 4 goals up, you can try and knock back your opponent and put somebody in. But when you're 2-1 up with 5 minutes to go in the semi-final of the FA Cup, you keep the ball. You don't gamble, you keep the ball.
Jolyon Lescott for Samir Nasri, who set the ball rolling in terms of goal scoring today. And maybe Mancini is going to go with his 3 at the back, or more likely a 5 at the back for the closing minutes here.
Well, that's the best moment and the only real moment for Nasri today. Getting that second opportunity to have a strike at goal, and he took it. Just hasn't quite done enough for me on the ball.
As you said, he owed his manager a goal. It's been for 5.5 months in coming. And Jolyon Lescott, who's fallen down the pecking order, coming on for the closing stages here as the FA Cup winners of 2 seasons ago. Bit to see this through and reach another final. Great take from Mata. There's that ball over the top again. Torres is goal side of company. Still Fernando Torres asking for a penalty kick. It's not going to be given.
Well, that's a tough one. I can't make my mind up whether company's actually impeded him and held them back, or whether he's just been strong and Torres hasn't been able to get around them. I think I'll go with the second one and give company the benefit of the doubt there. But again, it's just a simple ball played through the middle. Company didn't deal with it, and I've no idea where Nastasic was either.
Again, it's over the top. Torres this time causing problems for Lescott. It's route 1 from Chelsea. It's working. Well, there you go. Company was clever, though. He's the right side of the referee to do that, isn't he?
I mean, does he have his jersey? Yeah, I'm not sure that that's ever going to be given.
Well, that's where you look to assistant referees as well, Steve, isn't it?
Torres has probably, unfortunately, been too honest and stayed on his feet.
I just wonder, given the goal-scoring run he's on, if that's why he did that. Had it been Torres misfiring and struggling for goals, might he have looked in a more obvious fashion for the penalty kick?
Well, you always want to see your centre-forward desperate to score goals, don't you?
Swinging towards the back post, Ivanovic. It was taken off the toe of Mata by a brilliantly timed touch by Zabaleta.
Yeah, he's quite right. It's Piliqueta. Get in the box and get it in the box.
Here we go then. Getting as much on it as he can. Ivanovic looking for the touch. Ramirez. Here's Torres. Is that handball by Zabaleta? Not too many appeals from the Chelsea players. There's Piliqueta's header. Problem here, Oscar's the defender. Oh, didn't he do well? He's held up Aguero.
He did well. I didn't fancy him at all, Oscar there. But look at the strength of this little guy, Aguero.
And now Mata, the second centre-back for Chelsea.
Well, I'm glad to see the referees giving it both ways.
Here's that ball down the middle again, judged well by Lescott this time.
Yeah, that's nice calm play. That'll give everybody around them some confidence and calm everybody down, that's for sure.
I don't know if it's by accident or design, but Branislav Ivanovic is up in the centre-forward position at the moment. All or nothing now from Chelsea.
I would think it's panic mode.
He's back on halfway and puffing the cheeks out at the moment now, Ivanovic. Here's Oscar. Not many forward for Chelsea, plenty back for Manchester City. Support arrives now, Ramirez. Hazard.
They just have to be careful, City, that they close the ball and don't just think because they have numbers that they can just stand off.
Here's Ramirez, skips away from Garcia. Bertrand, they need a quality ball in here. Hazard. Mata. Ramirez. Mata again, all very tight. Ramirez to put it in, headed away by Clichy. Here's Oscar. There are bodies in there now. Poor ball from Oscar, and Clichy can bring it away.
Well done, Clichy. Superb defending. I said you had to close the ball. That's what he did, and then not only that, he breaks and gives it this guy.
Pace and power from Touré, still going. Aguero for the pullback. Came at him quickly. A tired-looking touch as well.
It did, yeah. It was a great break. Give it to the big strong man Touré. He did the rest, pulled it back, And Aguero just too much of an angle to get a strike. Tried to take a touch, but it was a poor one.
Two great touches here from Torres. Whips it in. Lescott wins a big header. David Luiz forward now as well. Torres once more. Here's Ramirez. What a cup semi-final this has been. Mata away by Nastasic this time. Garcia only as far as Oscar. 3 minutes left for Chelsea. Mata got it stuck under his feet. Here's Aguero, great take, great turn. And he skipped away from the first man. Runs into Ivanovic.
Don't know why the referee's taking so long there to blow the whistle. And again, get the ball in the box, get it in the penalty area. It's not the first minute, it's almost the last minute.
Hazard. Now Mata. Plenty of space as Manchester City go narrow in the box. Here's Bertrand. Stands it up, and Tielemans comes and takes. Well, they've got 4 or 5 6-foot plus in there now, Manchester City, and a ball like that, with a goalkeeper like that as well. They'll take that.
Yeah, I'd have to say as well, if I'm Mancini, I'm getting on Yaya Toure and telling him to get his tail back into the middle. We don't need another goal. We just need to make sure we don't lose one.
Azpilicueta. Mata, Torres on the run around. Seen off by Javi Garcia.
Yeah, well done the referee. Nothing in that whatsoever. He stood his ground. Torres picking the wrong time to go down. Should maybe have done that 5 minutes ago.
And what a stirring second half from the defending champions. Can they rescue it this late in the fray? Hazard. Always carrying wide.
Well, if there's a man you want to get a shot in the 92nd minute from 25 yards, coming in from the left-hand side onto his good right side, it's him. Just didn't deliver, slashed at it, tried to put too much on it, and it goes well wide.
Final minute. Pantilimon taking as much time as possible over this. Azpilicueta. Barry happy to just hoist it forward. Ivanovic back to his goalkeeper. It's got to go long now. Check instead, bowls it out to Bertrand. Manchester City baying for the final whistle. Mancini pointing to his watch. Still time. Company heads away. Milner, anywhere will do.
That's the place for it.
Here's Cech. Milner has carried all the way on to pressurise the goalkeeper. Barry will keep it in play. Referee has had a look. We've played the 4 extra minutes. Azpilicueta in danger of losing this. Aguero's offside. And that is it. Manchester City have made it through to the final. The FA Cup holders bow out, but go out fighting. And for Roberto Mancini, they've done it, if only just.
Well, there's 2 ways to do it. There's an easy way and there's a hard way. And for what, 60-odd minutes, they were doing it the easy way. And of course, Torres comes on, does make a difference. They get the goal, and from then on in, they're just hanging on for dear life. But the truth is, they deserve to go through. They played a better football. They had more chances. They've scored more goals, and they march on.
A thrilling game, and for Manchester City, a chance to make it 2 FA Cup wins in 3 years. They have beaten the champions by 2 goals to 1.
How much could it possibly cost? $48,000. We simply don't have the funds.
So what exactly is the plan?
Well, first off, we got to get $48,000.
Mixed martial arts? Do you even know how to do that? And the guy got paid 10 grand to fight, and he lost.
This is the best plan you could come up with.
If you're going to lose, then I'm going to help you lose.
You got yourself a fight. You're going to learn the ancient art of intimidation.
You ever actually been in a fight? Well, none of the boy, anyway.
Bang, bang, bang. Oh! Knockout blow.
Thank you, and
good night.
That's what you do when you give up.
Intimidation!
There's no timeouts, guys. Come on, let's go.
Trial by fire, baby.
Here comes the boom. Rent it now on Foxtel On Demand.
This April, food is entertaining every day.
My dream is to be a really famous cook.
Prepare to feel inferior in the kitchen.
He understands what makes a dish taste brilliant.
The miniature Michelin wannabes are back.
Let's cook.
A brand new season, Junior MasterChef.
Game on, get ready.
The cakes may be small, but the stakes are huge.
$10,000.
Cupcake Wars.
Oh my God, sorry.
Fresh pasta is something to be savoured, not scared of.
The flavours that come from this are absolutely delicious.
Let Michaela Chiappa show you how easy it can be. Simply Italian.
The contestants are ready, and so are we.
Things are heating up in Blighty as a whole new battle begins.
My hands are shaking.
Elasticate those waistbands.
The brand new season, Great British Bake Off.
That's April on food.
At Sportingbet, we live and breathe sports and racing. That's why we developed cutting-edge technology that lets you bet anywhere, anytime, with top odds and unique promotions on a wide range of markets. Just another reason why there's no better bet than a Sportingbet.
Welcome back to ESPN, catching our breath after a pulsating FA Cup semi-final between the winners of the last 2 years, Chelsea and Manchester City. Manchester City a dominant first-half display and the breakthrough goal for Samir Nasri.
Yeah, I thought he'd lost the opportunity, Nasri. I thought he'd gone too far. Looked for a pass to Milner. It came back to him. And the second time round, he buried it in the back of the net.
And they doubled that advantage so early in the second half. Gareth Barry's ball, and what about this for firstly the movement and secondly the finish from Aguero?
Well, Chelsea don't come out, and Aguero smells it, picks up a great position, and Barry plays him a beautiful ball, and that's a great header as well. He's got time to pick his spot, and he does that. Even better, it comes in off the post.
What a week it's been for Sergio Aguero. What turned out to be the winning goal here after the winning goal in the derby on Monday. Rafa Benitez threw Fernando Torres into the action. Within seconds, he was causing problems, discomforted company, and Demba, by an acrobatic fashion, dragged Chelsea back into it.
Well, straight away, the two men up front just disturbed City at the back, and it's a great finish. Just an acrobatic shot with his right foot. Pantilimon never even saw it.
Well, Pantilimon wants to step up big though for Manchester City in that second period, and they needed him as Chelsea really went after it. Big mistake from Clichy, but then the big man to the rescue to deny back.
Well, he made a huge mistake in the first half that could have cost him a goal, but there he definitely saved them one.
So we know our final pairing. It will be Manchester City against Wigan Athletic. Wigan getting the job done in less frantic fashion yesterday against Millwall. Fantastic first goal, Aruna Kone with the assist, and Sean Maloney with a cultured finish.
Well, it was simple and effective, but it was brilliant. Beautiful ball in behind, perfect weight for Maloney, who just opens his body up and uses the pace on the ball just to guide it into the net.
And Millwall had their moments in the second half, couldn't find the levelling goal, and then Jordi Gomez with the eye for the pass, and Callum McManaman, it has been his season in the FA Cup from Wigan's point of view, with the sealing goal.
Well, Gomez just waits for Dunn at full-back to step wide. McManaman reads it, goes through it, round the goalkeeper, and rolls it into an empty net. Doesn't get any easier than that.
And so Wigan Athletic, Roberto Martinez, Dave Whelan, heading for the final. Disappointing scenes at the end, which no doubt you've heard about now, involving Millwall supporters, but it was Wigan's day. As expected, they got through. It will be an all-Premier League final. May 12th. All of our viewers in Australia, Manchester City, can they win the title that brought joy to Mancini 2 seasons ago? 1-0 against Stoke that day. Yaya Touré's goal. But a Wigan side that will enjoy the wide expanses of Wembley. Will they be able to deal with a powerful Manchester City side though?
Well, the smart money would say no. I would say no, but as I said before this game even kicked off, I've been on the end of a surprise at Wembley in a cup final, and you can never take your eye off the ball. If City play the way they can, score the goals that the chances they'll make, then they should win. But hey, you never know. It's the FA Cup.
Well, thrill a minute today. Manchester City get it done. They've knocked out the champions, the holders, Chelsea. From Steve Nicoll and myself, Des Curran. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you did. This has been an ESPN production, and for all the latest news, views and opinion, log on to espnfc.com. Manchester City march on to the final, where they will face Wigan.